Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching an ABC 10 Plus recap of the day's top stories that you may have missed. With the protest in LA continuing, we're looking into ICE misinformation and what you need to know. Then an update in the trial of accused Davis stabbing suspect Carlos Dominguez. The ABC 10 Plus recap starts now.
Jury deliberations continued for a third day today in the Carlos Dominguez trial. The former UC Davis student faces 2 murder charges and an attempted murder charge. He pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. The defense and the prosecution say intent is the main deciding factor in this case.
Now keep in mind this is indeed a complex case and it's only the first part of the case.
ABC 10's Devin Truby explains what we can expect.
The jury in the Carlos Dominguez trial has been deliberating for 3 full days. Criminal defense attorney Mark Reichel has been following the case closely. He expects it'll be a while before a verdict.
The prosecution was very, very compelling. The defense did a tremendous job explaining that, look, no matter what the body was doing for this person on trial, it was the mind that was controlling it, and it was a completely defective mind.
Reichel says the reason it's possibly taking the jury so long is because they must decide for each charge, was the act committed, then they must consider his mental state. Once the jury delivers their verdict, they will have to decide if he is sane during the time of the alleged murders. They will hear extensively from mental health experts. This would impact where he would serve a potential sentence for the crime.
If he gets convicted of the most serious charges, then they'll have this trial that you were talking about, which is, was he sane at the time of the offense? And then if there's any doubt after that, let's say he's found not guilty by reason of insanity, if there's any doubt as to his real sanity, he's going to be in a mental institution for a while until they get him safe and safe to others and so forth. If he is found guilty and he's sentenced anyway, he's probably going to go to a mental facility in the state system anyway. Just one that's, for people that have been convicted and sentenced.
Dominguez's father testified that Carlos was brought into the country illegally from El Salvador in 2009. But in 2023, ICE put him on a detainer, meaning ICE would take him into custody if he was released by local authorities.
You don't have a U.S. passport. There's always the chance that you could be deported. Recently, as we all know, anybody that is not a citizen who has a criminal conviction or criminal background, they move to the top of the list on who is possibly going to be deported. Any lawful status the person had goes away with any type of felony conviction.
Meanwhile, we do have new information tonight on the Marines now deployed to LA. They're expected to begin operations soon.
President Trump sent them in support of National Guard troops stationed at federal buildings in the city, where demonstrations are happening over immigration enforcement operations.
After days of immigration protests, workers taking advantage of the lull today to clean up the streets and wash away graffiti. An 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew put in place for part of the downtown area ended this morning, but with less destruction and fewer clashes between protesters and authorities.
You should take note that the individuals that are here with me today are all leaders in their area, and we all stand in support and solidarity and call for the raids to end.
President Trump deploying more than 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines to Los Angeles. Their role in dispersing crowds has been minimal, but ICE posting these photos on their X account showing National Guardsmen providing protection for ICE agents on a raid in Los Angeles. Governor Gavin Newsom filed a motion Tuesday to stop troops from accompanying ICE on raids, which goes beyond protecting buildings, arguing it will escalate tensions.
What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before.
Trump on social media calling Newsom incompetent, accusing him of not protecting ICE officers in a timely manner. The Attorney General says the Justice Department will vigorously prosecute violent protesters. Pam Bondi disputing that President Trump's pardons for rioters who assaulted police during the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol creates a double standard in comparison with the administration's response to these protests.
Well, this is very different. These are people out there hurting people in California right now. This is ongoing.
The U.S. Attorney for Los Angeles saying today 2 men are being charged for their alleged roles in the protest violence. Emiliano Galvez and Rocky Kyoge are both accused of attempting to throw Molotov cocktails at police last weekend. And the Marines deployed here to Los Angeles are currently undergoing civil unrest training. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Jacqueline, thank you. Now, while the protests in LA and across the country continue, here at home, immigrants and their families are being tormented by social media posts spreading misinformation about ICE sightings.
Yeah, volunteers with NorCal Resist are trying to make it stop, and they're asking people to call them first before they believe certain things. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias has more.
For years, immigrant workers have posted up at the Home Depot in South Sacramento looking for work. This worker says, I've been living in Sacramento for a long time, and we always come to find work here, but we've been feeling overwhelmed because of the situation that's happening in Los Angeles. He has high hopes that he can keep working in peace, but he says the situation is difficult after seeing numerous social media posts warning people about ICE sightings in Sacramento. Posts like this one, which claim there was an ICE raid happening on 47th and Franklin on Tuesday.
We've seen a big trend on social media of posts alleging that there is an ICE checkpoint or ICE raid happening in the community that has been unverified and are usually completely false.
Giselle Garcia is a volunteer with NorCal Resist, which is an organization managing the Migra Watch hotline where people call in to report suspicious ICE activity. She says on Tuesday alone, they received about 100 calls. None could be verified. Garcia believes people are using the political climate to capitalize on this moment because it feels like immigration is the hot topic.
We've been sounding this alarm for a long time, right? But folks are using this moment to gain more followers and clicks. And we're sure of that because we have reached out to certain individuals and social media pages who consistently post things that are unverified.
And they're creating fear among the community, stopping them from leaving their home or taking their children to school, including the workers at Home Depot who took off running because they thought they saw ICE stopping by. This worker says one never knows when something that we don't want to happen is going to happen. He says the workers have quickly dwindled from about 50 to about 20 workers. Garcia says this is not just a Latino rights issue, and as an organization, they're helping people from all over the world.
It's truly a global issue. And Sacramento, in fact, is one of the most diverse cities in the country, given integration.
In Sacramento, Roxanne Elias, ABC10.
Now, we also checked in with the Sacramento County deputies, and they confirmed they responded to a trespassing call just yesterday near one of the locations. But they say by law they are not permitted to participate with any immigration enforcement operations with ICE or any other agency. And keep in mind, we continue to stream live images from the protests in LA on the ABC10 Plus TV streaming app, as well as each news conference from officials and lawmakers. The ABC10 Plus TV streaming app is free to download on your TV. Welcome back. The Trump administration says they've agreed to a new framework for a trade deal with China.
It's expected to pave the way for a long-term trade agreement between the world's two largest economies. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details from Washington.
After 2 long days of negotiations between U.S. and Chinese trade officials in London and a phone call between Presidents Trump and Xi last week, leaders from both sides today are touting a new handshake deal.
We have agreed to fully comply with the Geneva Agreement as well. So the president is reviewing the details of that with his trade team now, and you'll hear more from him.
On social media, Trump says imports from China will now be subject to a hefty 55% tariff, though down from the 145% tax Trump announced in the height of his trade war. U.S. imports to China will face a 10% tariff, down from 125%. The negotiations come amid an uncertain economic forecast, a new report easing some concerns as inflation ticked up slightly as expected, 0.1% over 1 month, up 2.4% since 1 year ago.
Most importantly, we are decelerating cost increases for shelter, food, and energy.
Most of Trump's tariffs are on pause pending negotiations, and most economists agree an increase in tariffs will lead to an increase in prices on everyday goods. As for the deal with China, the administration says it also reversed course on Trump's threat to revoke visas for Chinese students. And the president adds China has agreed to supply key rare earth minerals up front, used in everything from cell phones to car batteries. China has not specified the terms it agreed to. Talks between the U.S. and Canada have intensified over the past few weeks, according to Canada's CTV News, which adds a framework appears to be in the works, though a timeline is still unclear. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
I want to change gears now and bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods because we're looking forward to Father's Day weekend. I want to see how those weather conditions are looking, huh?
Right, if we want to take them to brunch or a tea time or just time in the park. How's it looking?
You know, it has been really quite nice to have these breezes coming in because it's saving us from widespread 100s. We've seen them kind of sprinkled throughout the valley, but overall it's not widespread. Kind of a benign weather pattern overall throughout much of California last week and even into the early part of this week. We were dealing with areas of thunderstorms for this year. That has since quieted, and so now we just have that nice onshore flow as most of the active weather continues to move its way eastward. That onshore flow, again, keeping us right about average, kind of flirting around that average line of 87 degrees. Sunday, we only hit a high of 84, 89 on Monday, and then yesterday a high of 85. And today, for most of us, we're actually cooler than even yesterday's high. 81 degrees is all we topped out at so far today for Sacramento. Fairfield 78, a little bit warmer north and south of that I-80 line in the upper 80s. But again, that's pretty much average, which is pretty nice this time of year. 80s for the foothills and 70s, again, shower free for the Sierra. In terms of what we're looking at right now, sunny skies throughout the region. We're pretty much right at that afternoon high. 81 currently for Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, and Marysville at 88 degrees. Our sunset not until 8:30, so this is the time of year we have a lot of access and potential to warm up those conditions. Tahoe right now, sunny skies and 75 up in the high country. Hourly weather, we continue to have that cooling breeze for tonight. You might have noticed it. It was a little chilly out there this morning. Lovely, though, to open up those windows for nature's air conditioning. Tomorrow morning, we're right back at it. Morning lows starting off in the low 50s. Afternoon highs climbing into the upper 80s to near 90. A little less of that breeze means a little more in the way of warmth. We'll still pick up those light breezes coming in from the Pacific tomorrow afternoon. And then want to highlight this. Those winds really start to pick up late in the day on Friday for the high country, gusting at times close to 40 miles per hour, particularly east of the crest is where we'll be more vulnerable to those higher fire dangers developing with fire weather watch in effect north of I-80 into our Friday and Saturday forecast, driven by that low coming in. Those onshore winds will pick up, and that is once again going to keep us from highs in the 100s through Father's Day weekend. But just off the coast, we've got a building ridge of high pressure. That's going to bring sinking warming air as we head towards the beginning of summer and a taste of some summer heat as well. Highs in the 70s tomorrow for this year. Again, shower free even through the foothills with highs in the 70s and 80s. A cool 63 for San Francisco, and we'll bring some of that cooler air inland, keeping us in the 80s for most of the region to right around 90. It's nothing too extreme for tomorrow, even though we will see slightly warmer conditions. Highs will stay pretty steady in the Sierra in the 70s. For the foothills, we've got highs in the 80s with a mix of sun and clouds. And for the Bay Area, pretty consistent. Highs in the 60s for the next 5 days. Our extended forecast for the valley, pretty nice here Saturday and Sunday for Father's Day weekend, upper 80s to near 90. It's not until next week that we get into some of that bigger heat. But overall, we're hanging on to that breeze. That keeps us from the 100s.
Yeah, we still are in spring technically, so that's a good reminder. We'll enjoy it while it lasts.
Yes.
Monica, thank you. Thanks for watching this ABC 10 Plus recap. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
We are in day one of a weather impact alert.
Tracking a couple big weather impacts, including a red flag warning and big heat developing.
Heavy rain continues. I hear it on the roof right now. We're already seeing the impact of the storm.
We're planning for those changes.
Triple-digit heat leading to cancellations and concerns.
Stay fire ready.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on ABC 10 Plus.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, dollars and cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.